Hello, I'm Tony Perkins, President of the Family Research Council here in Washington, D.C.
And I am Sean Chapin, a gay man here in San Francisco, California.
With a message to churches in California.
And I have a message from one Californian to all Californians.
Since America's beginnings, our society has affirmed human sexuality as outlined in the Bible.
Since America's beginnings, we have been governed by our constitutions, which grant freedom and equality for all Americans.
That we are all made in the image of God as male and female.
That we are all entitled to not just the American dream, but also to the American love.
And that sexual behavior is best expressed in a marriage relationship between one man and one woman.
And that the American love should be protected by marriage rights between two men, two women, and a man and a woman.
Because that relationship yields the best outcomes in every category of life.
As the American love is universal in cultivating, nurturing, and strengthening our communities and societies with our diversities and differences.
Especially the well-being and development of children.
Especially with the well-being and nurturing of our children.
But times are changing in America.
Well, the times are changing in America.
And not always for the better.
And finally, toward the better.
As you know, the California State Legislature passed
and Governor Jerry Brown signed into law
SB 48.
Under this new law, beginning in January,
public schools will be required to teach children as young as 5, not only to accept but also to endorse transgender, bisexual, and homosexual identity and behavior.
Public schools will trade in divisive lies and prejudice with unifying truth and respect.
In order to accommodate the law, costly new instructional materials will be required to assist in the indoctrination of California children.
And our state will once and for all be rid of the indoctrination by the extremist agenda.
While it's disturbing that elected officials pass such a misguided and harmful legislation,
it's ecstatic that our elected officials prevailed over such a misguided and harmful extremist agenda.
The good news is that Californians have a unique right that some states simply do not have.
The bad news is that these extremists think that their supremacist ways can bully around our constitutional law.
And that is the ability to collect petition signatures for a ballot referendum to overturn legislation like SB 48.
And that is an extremist agenda's attack to strip our American dignity away.
The challenge before us is to collect 750,000 petitions before the end of September.
The challenge is to come out, rise up, and stand for the American love.
So it'll take a lot of effort.
It will take us bravery and courage.
But consider what's at stake.
But consider what's at stake.
When students in California schools are falling behind in core subjects.
When students in California schools are bullied towards committing suicide.
Should we divert precious classroom time and resources away from science and math?
Should we rob them of the opportunity to learn about science and math?
To promote the political agenda of a few?
Because of a hateful extremist few.
During tough economic times, can we really afford to have all the social studies and history textbooks rewritten to accommodate this propaganda?
During tough economic times, do we succumb to our hardships as a fearful lot? Or do we rise up to our challenges as brave Americans?
Do you think that it's right to force teachers and administrators to violate their consciences?
Do you think that it's right to allow extremist agendas to violate our constitutional values?
By advocating for behavior they find morally objectionable.
By spreading lies to demean people because they are different.
And most importantly, what about our children?
And most importantly, what about our children?
Do you think impressionable children as young as 5 ought to be indoctrinated with these lifestyles?
Do you think impressionable children as young as 5 ought to be indoctrinated with this extremist agenda?
If your answer is no.
If your answer is no.
Then sign the petition.
Then stand with the American love.
And encourage your family, your friends, and your fellow church members to do the same.
And encourage your family, your friends, and your fellow straight allies to do the same.
A referendum will give we the people the opportunity to do the job Governor Brown refused to do.
No one, not even the deceitful and extremist Tony Perkins, can take away the American love.